let me break this down very simply, man. This is all about trade. Do you understand? The Americans want to remain in control of all the vital shipping lanes. They want to control all the traffic. So this is the same when we talk about Yemen and the Horn of Africa. And of course, on the other side, they're in Djibouti, they're in Somalia. And that's why they're always antagonizing Iran, because they want to cover both sides of the peninsula. You understand? And then, of course, on the other side of the planet, this is where we're at. Any place the Americans don't control or NATO doesn't control, specifically, especially if it's important for the economy, or I shouldn't say the economy. No, it's not the economy. This is domination. Do you understand? When they say, oh, it's securing our economy, that's their catchphrase. That's the propaganda. This is about dominance. And also, I would also add, it's about antagonizing China, because when they're done with Russia, they're going to go and start with Taiwan and China. Mark my words. Mark my words. When they're done with Ukraine and Russia, they will go and enter, they call it the pivot to the east, right? Again, I love how creative the Americans are with the newspeak, right? You know, we do have a fair bit in the UK, but the Americans, I feel like they excel at it, right? They have these really lovely, creative ways of saying these things. So they will have a pivot to the east and start messing around with China, because I'm sorry, man. If China, think of it like this: if China went to, I don't know, let's say it's Cuba or Venezuela, and said, you know what, we're going to build you some nuclear-powered submarines, the United States would explode. Completely, they would combust, man. It's over. Their heads would explode. Fox News, MSNBC, boom, boom, boom. You see each one of them outraged. Oh my God, China, the threat. It's coming to our shores, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they already say this stuff now, and China's not doing anything. Always remember, who is the one that is going to the other? Who is going to whose doorstep and putting bases there and putting submarines there? Always ask yourself this question. Always remember this, right? Because these are oceans apart. We're not talking about, oh, these are neighbors, these are next door to it. These are oceans apart. It's very clear. It's very clear. And I will just remind you again, when Cuba was threatened after the Bay of Pigs and they asked for some Soviet help. And of course, before that, people forget the Americans put nuclear missiles, the Jupiter missiles in Turkey, which threatened Russia. They didn't like that either. There's a concept that the Americans have. It's the Monroe Doctrine. And it means that in the Western Hemisphere, they have to dominate everybody and do whatever it takes to, you know, secure their peace or their freedom and their security. I mean, they come up with all sorts of nonsense to just say that they want to dominate everybody. It's just imperialism. But if that wasn't bad enough, you know, they're also trying to start something with the Chinese now. Let me be very clear. China is not Russia, okay? The Chinese are far more capable. It's just the way it is right now in this period in history. The Chinese are the top dogs in terms of their economy, you know, how advanced they are, the military technology. It's them. It's not it's not Russia. It's not the Soviet Union. Russia right now isn't even close to the Soviet Union. I'm not saying it's nothing. It's obviously a power, but my point is that, you know, the Americans, they always talk about rising China because they pretend that they're threatened. They're not threatened. They're not threatened. They have a whole state continent to themselves. And if they would just leave everybody alone, that's it. End of story. It's not if they would leave everybody alone. Just leave everybody alone. There's no threat. But they're trying to invent one. And so you end up with things like this. But of course, things only go one way. Right? It's a one-way street. It's the US calling the shots. And Australia and the UK tag along behind like good poodles. That's how it is. But I wouldn't get too arrogant. You know why? Because China, Iran, Russia, they're not playing around. These are not countries that, you know, the resistance axis as a whole, that's one thing. But China, in addition to that, you know, Russia, in addition to that, these are not countries that are just going to sit down and tolerate this sort of, you know, 19th century colonial bullshit. For me, when I see this stuff, what they're trying to do with AUKUS, this is money for the arms manufacturers, just, you know, throwing more billions into their pockets. And just a desperate attempt to make the US, the UK, and Australia relevant. I feel like the UK only jumped in on this to try and appear relevant. That's it. That's it. Right? What's the UK got to do with the South trying to see, even if you believe they're nonsense? What is the UK doing there? Don't get me started on the Opium Wars and what we did over there in China. 19th century colonialism. It hasn't changed, man. It hasn't changed. The faces are new, the suits are new, the weapons are new, but it's straight up 19th century colonialism. And that's what they don't want to admit to you. That's what they don't want to tell you.